Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Hip Hop Baby's album review. It's your host, Lee.
I'm being
You guys say the
different.
line. Yes, sir.
No, I'm being different today. You know why? Because Uzi's different. With this album, you know what I'm saying? Let me change the startup of this video.
Uzi got all the bad bitches acting up. Feel like you got that energy, bro. You can exude it. I see you didn't wear pink today. This nigga wore green. He really different. Like, let's talk about it, bro. Like, Uzi was supposed to save the summer, bro. Are you in for real right now? Were you expecting this after Just Wanna Rock?
People was messing with that track. When they dropped that track, don't act like that wasn't everywhere.
I mean, it's less so now, probably after the reception of the album, but I think that that song is great. I love that song. And it's got some elements in there where you can see the same stuff that he's doing in the album. If you like that track, why you might like the album. But for me, overall, the album is pretty much just a miss. I'll be honest. It's a miss, an entire miss.
Damn.
I can't say that I have liked Uzi for his entire career because I definitely did not like Uzi first came out. I thought that mixtapes had potential back in the day to be something greater, and I've seen Uzi kind of as like a 2 to 3 hit an album kind of artist for a while until probably his Eternal Take and Pluto Baby Pluto era, which I think that reached a different type of level with that kind of music right then, right? The trap, having fun, 2016 vibe type music, right? Where you living good and vibes are on 10 for me personally. Why go away from that formula to try something different? Artists do new shit all the time. We just got to talk about their current state, right? This is the current state of Lil Uzi Vert right here. I wish I could just like play the music, bro, because sometimes it needs to be played, bro. There's some tracks where like the intro, bro, just like makes me like turn it to the next one. It's that bad. The covers on here, like different tracks, like if you know any rock music whatsoever, bro, like these are not good covers. Like System of a Down, a track from them, Chop Suey. It was so bad. It was bad.
That was bad.
A song like that does not belong on something that is
bad.
Lil Uzi Vert, bro. You just can't mix those sounds.
I just think it was bad vocally. Like, I like System of a Down. I like their music. So I wasn't expecting that. I came to the track CS. I was like, okay, what is this? And then when it started as Chop Suey, I'm like, okay. Uzi wanted to be a rock star his whole career, it seemed like. This track was a perfect example of them doing too much, in my opinion. Just overreaching with the vocals and stuff, right? I'm disappointed because I at least wanted more tracks I could just casually play or just, play around people and just chill. And I feel like I didn't even get that on this project that much. I got Flooded the Face. I got a few tracks. There's a few. They dropped a lot of tracks, so I'm bound to get a few. They're a talented artist, but this was disappointing.
Yes.
And I'm not even a big Uzi fan. I know some of the Uzi fans probably like this, but I know some of them were probably like, wow.
When I tell you that they're a 2 to 3 hit per album artist, I am not bullshitting you. Like, you go back to any of the old ones, bro. They do not have shit that is like, the full album everybody is listening to. This one, it's like almost impossible to find those songs because everything in between makes me want to throw my headphones off my head, bro.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I can see the appeal of metal music. I am not deaf to a hard-hitting rock instrumental that, is supposed to be in your face, supposed to be all of this, right? But like, if you're supposed to like best metal track on here is just a cover of somebody else's track where the melody was already written and all this stuff was already done for you, and the only thing you're bringing to the table is your wacky like ad-libs and vocal inflection, get it out of here, man. That's not meant to be on the pink tape. It's supposed to be a crescendo moment, but I guess not. I guess it's supposed to just be some experimental garbage.
They said that this was an experimental project. They kind of were flexing like I came back after a break and dropped the experimental project. And I feel like Eternal Take was kind of like that. But this was even more left. And then with Eternal Take, they dropped the deluxe. The deluxe helped because there was a lot of leaks and a lot of old tracks that they've kind of hinted at and that they put on the album. And it was like, okay, well, this is what I maybe more so wanted. And mixed in, it was like, okay. And even with this project, they have bonus tracks that were old snippets they were previewing on Instagram and stuff that kind of bang. The bonus tracks, those are kind of like more what I wouldn't say expecting, but more so the regular Uzi sound. But on this, we got Werewolf with Below the Horizon, and Below the Horizon is cool. They're in their lane, they're a cool thrash, like hardcore group, but I feel like that was more of a Below the Horizon track, and Uzi just came on there and just did whatever.
That's it.
Yeah. If you're gonna do the track, like you gotta fully commit, and I feel like Uzi didn't fully commit with some of these tracks. They kind of half did them, you know what I'm saying?
It felt like what they were doing was cheerleading for a different genre that they do not actually contribute to, an aesthetic. You're doing it so that you can look the part. I don't care if you can actually do a fucking rock track or not. Call yourself a rock star. Like, that's not relevant to me. What's relevant to me is that my ears aren't getting busted open by some goat gargling, whatever you're doing, bro. Whatever you're doing, the throat scratching shit he was doing, the throat noise, the inflections that they were doing on those tracks were I have no words, bro. Like, what was that? What were we doing? Who was supposed to like that? Like, I don't know.
The flows, hit or miss.
And yeah, and the most important part is what you're saying is like it comes off like you're a poser, you being corny. You're not doing it. Since you're not doing it, now I have to judge it and critique it like your other projects, which are like rap projects. This is the worst one because it's got no rap that's like concise and like to the point. There's no like consistent vibe through it. It's all stretched out. I can't get a read on the project.
You got a lot of fluff on here. You got
frustrated.
A lot of filler tracks that frustrate you, that are like, why is this on here? But then you got Flooded the Face.
I like Flooded the Face a lot.
That was a hard first track. Aggressive, like the beat, the way it just like it was like banging, it was like thumping, it was hard, whatever that shit was, that was crazy. And the way they were flowing over it was tight, right? That's the Uzi I wanted. And then Suicide Doors came with Charleston White, and that was like funny. He was calling him sissified and all that, and then he went right in the track, basically coming on like, nah, you talking stuff, like I'm gonna talk stuff back, right? Uzi can do that, experiment, and it works and it flows. But then after that, man, I mean, A was all right with Travis, right? But Travis, that was like an okay feature. It was kind of forgettable for me, and it was like, okay, the beat was tight on that, but Uzi didn't really do that much to me either on A. Crush him, whatever, that was okay. Crush. The beat changes on that track was tight though. Uzi knows how to get some tight production. Even on the rock songs, the beats and the music don't really sound bad. It's just what they are bringing to the table, I don't really fuck with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Below the Horizon, Werewolf wasn't bad. It's just Uzi just let me down. On Amped, high ass pitch moaning and shit. I mean, it's cool, but it's like you're trying to mix sounds and do things, and it's like you're throwing things and hoping they stick, and sometimes they don't.
That's what it felt like more than anything, right? It's like we are a trial group. 25 of these pills, they could or could not cure your disease. So just take all. We'll see what the fuck happens, right? Like, no, bro. Give me a curated, put together project and respect me as a listener, and don't be throwing bullshit at the wall, bro. Nobody wants that. And that's how you piss off your fan base. There's not a lot of good, I want to say, because there's been so many projects where they've done amazing work and they're so capable. The reason why so many people are checking out this project and giving this project a chance is because of the work that they've done. So I feel like it's almost disrespectful to the work that has done up to this point, because now there's a sour taste in my mouth. And I know going into the next project, maybe I'll have some reservations about, trusting and like fully enjoying it.
Because they've been hyping this up. That's what I'm saying. The Pink Tape has been a known title of this project for a long time. It's been a big thing.
3 years.
It's kind of like Cardi with his next project, right? Like people have been hyping this up. The difference with Uzi though is that kind of remind me of the Red and White EP they dropped last year. Mm-hmm. I liked that EP a little bit. I actually thought that was like, it had a little bit of experimentation. It showed a little bit of them being a little different, and it worked. But it was an EP, right? So it was like, okay. So I thought maybe it was going to be more like that.
There was no signaling to heavy like metal stuff that we're talking about in here. There's no signal to that from Red and White.
Besides, some of his
completely different
concerts, he's always had like rock vibes and stuff. So maybe you might have saw
but those were like
that hard. That hard,
dude.
Yeah.
Dude, those were like crazy good songs on Red and White. On the EP. They were really, really good. And it was trying to build my expectations a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
This is the face of a guy who had expectations. It just felt like a little bit of a hokey pokey album to me. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And then you turn around and I forgot about your album. So
yeah, especially with the sample, the interpolations. He interpolated a lot of old school songs. The one with Nicki Minaj, Endless Fashion, has that ba da doo be da boo ba, sampling corny songs like that. Like that way, right? Sampled was that Backstreet Boys? This one with Nicki Minaj, it was okay. It's catchy, but it was a little too corny for me. Like even some of the lines, make my ass great again, MAGA. Like Nicki, come on, man. Her verse later kind of made up for it. She kind of started spitting a little bit, right? But again, Lil Uzi just came on there doing the sold my soul for crowbar or whatever. I'm not trying to do the so it's just like that's what I'm saying. Like Uzi,
I just sold my soul for
it was
chrome
catchy
and on
though.
my whole life.
Especially as I
Yeah,
kept listening to the album, that song kind of grew on me, but even then, it's like it grew on me in a kind of like it's good, but it's bad way. Some of these tracks
the
are like
lyrics are
that though.
cringe.
It's funny. It's funny. Like I feel like they were being a little playful, and sometimes it worked, and sometimes it didn't.
When
Yeah.
you're doing good and you're playful, everybody loves you. When you doing a J.R. Smith performance in
Yes.
the 2018
This
Game
was
1
J.R. Smith.
Finals, LeBron gonna look at your dumbass and say, "Boy, pass that ball to me right now so I can score, bro. You are not him."
It was a little bit of a reach, because then you got Spin Again, right? I like Spin Again. I thought it was a cool track. I think they premiered it at the BET Awards, and that was cool. On the album, I liked it. Then he goes That Fire right after that, and that song was bad. I did not like That Fire. To follow Spin Again, which was one of my favorite tracks, with That Fire, and it was so annoying to me. Is like, come on, bro. I got a real dick of this wrist. I got it. That reminded me of old Uzi. I'm not saying I wanted a whole project of old Uzi, and it was catchy. They were flowing. They were rapping. Most importantly,
Yeah.
they were rapping. I want to hear more rapping. They were singing a lot or like moaning a
So
lot on this.
I want to say experimentation is one of the most interesting things that you can do. To experiment and do things that you do not do is one of the most interesting things that you can do for somebody who's listening to your project and they're like, wow, like this is great, right? But then there's moments where you take it too far and I feel like you're pulling my chain. I don't like it. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't stop using your massive amounts of money to get Chop Suey samples and Backstreet Boys samples. Just do your own music, man. Just do your own music. We don't.
Hey, hold up. That way was cool. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
That way,
But
that way was cool.
if you're gonna keep doing it though, like at least do it in a cool way. This one didn't come off that well to me.
I just feel like it's like giving off like the poser energy that I was talking about, like, by picking up like the old school songs, right, and just redoing them instead of building upon the foundation that is those songs and making new music. You are being lazy and just showing that you don't actually have any teeth in the game.
Yeah, because some of these I'm like, you're just rehashing a song or like you're rehashing like a flow or something. Even though he tried to experiment, sometimes like you've done this before, but better. Or like now you're doing this new song and it's not, I don't like this sound from you, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not all bad. I think we're being negative though. They made us wait for this. And it's a very long project. I feel like the second half was better than the first half of this project. I'm not gonna say the second half was like great, but songs like Patience, songs like Rehab, you know what I'm saying? Like Rehab was cool. They were getting introspective. They were talking about how they were naming like certain doctors or certain people that helped them on their journey to, start getting clean and start to grow up. And I think that's the difference in this project. Like Uzi's getting older. And I think he said it before, like it's almost like they are scared of getting older because their topic matter is gonna have to change, or their songs are gonna have to change because as they get older and their fans get older, you got to find a way to adapt. Because Uzi's music, I felt like was always like kiddish.
Yeah,
We're grown.
It is.
We're grown. You know what I'm saying? Even now, like he dropped that during the pandemic, we were trying to have fun. Like now we're all out. So everyone's dropping again. And now you're dropping like rock experimental Uzi music.
Yeah, it's definitely not hidden.
Patience with Don Toliver. That was a cool track. It was a cool little R&B Uzi track as far as this album goes. Fire Alarm. I didn't like that track, but I kind of saw what they were going for. The deep voice thing was interesting. The beat was all over the place, but overall, I didn't like the track much. But I'm like, okay, I see this. I'm saying the second half, I feel like it almost started to connect, but the first half threw it off. And even on the second half, some of the tracks were like, no. The end was an anime song, an anime outro.
Yeah.
I get what they're trying to do, but like,
I just don't think you can fit all your interests and things that make you you into one space.
You can't. You can't say that because we review projects where it's like they're obviously like putting together stuff, and it's like their interest. They're rapping about their life or like some nitpicky topic, and they're making it a whole project or a whole EP. You can do it. You just have to go all in. And I think I'm not gonna say they're scared because Uzi. This isn't like a scary album, but it's like they didn't fully want to go with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say scared either, but I would say that like the ways that they could have done more, fusing it more, it's not just like here's some rap songs, here's some rock songs, here's an anime song. It's more like this song has some rock elements, it's got some rap elements, it's got some fucking weird future elements, and it's flowing into each other, you know? The music is like bringing you up and down different ways to like do that. Instead, it felt like a janky ass car ride where I'm going, you know, and like I can't stay smooth on course. I have to listen to an album from front to back when I listen to it the first time. That is the way it's intended. So if I do that and it's just like that, like, man, I don't appreciate going from I gotta to endless fashion, and I don't appreciate going from werewolf to Pluto to Mars, you know. I really like Pluto to Mars. It's like, it's a great track.
Every time they would have a highlight, they'd go right back down. It would be like one of the worst tracks on the album. It felt like it was like a pattern. That's the wrong pattern to have. We don't want to have a great track to then a very bad track, or like, what is this? We're not trying to be haters. I hope not. You know, maybe you are. I don't think so. You don't seem like that. But this is one of the projects where I think we were both expecting something. We barely got that. At least I did.
Yeah.
You know, going back into the tracks, Died and Came Back was interesting. They tried to diss Roddy Ricch, and I saw people talking about it, but came and went just like this album to a certain degree. I'm surprised because, you know, people were waiting, but now everything's about Utopia and everything's about Drake's project coming, you know, and or maybe they don't care because they made so much money already. But
it felt like it should have been a moment, and it never got its moment really at all, because
even on Twitter,
it was pretty much like a 1 day, 2 day topic. That's pretty sad, man, because Eternal Take was a very prevalent topic. It did come out like a slow time, but let's not act like a bunch of stuff has been dropping before the Pink Tape this year. Like, this has been a generally slow year for mainstream hip hop. So the opportunity to grab the attention was there. It just seemed like it was not valuable to Uzi to deliver on the opportunity, you know, and I think that's a miscalculation. I think that they're still building their brand, and they're still building their fan base and earning their fan base's trust, because I only think that Eternal Take with the Deluxe and Pluto Baby Pluto are complete albums from Uzi. I think everything else from Uzi has been hits mixed with throwaways for the most of it, with a lot of filler. So doing this again, where you have such an inconsistent project, just alienates people who are trying to get into your music, because it's just not good, man. It's just not good.
I think they take so long to drop projects that they have opportunities to get new fans, especially because, you know, the projects they dropped when they were coming up were so different. You know, even Love is Rage 2, I think that's, some people say that's his best project. I know some people like Lil Uzi Vert versus the World or whatever, they think that's their best project. Some people really like old Uzi projects, and I think this, maybe some people will like this new Uzi. I doubt that people will really hold on to this and want more of this, maybe on a smaller scale. This was too much. It's too long. It was too bloated, especially after this wait, man. Please drop whatever you're dropping next quickly. Like you said, it was a bad taste. It wasn't, especially after the wait. It's too much.
It's like late registration Kanye fans versus Yeezus Kanye fans, you know?
All this hype, all the hype. I wasn't even falling into the hype like that. I just was anticipating it in my own way. Like, I wanted to see where Uzi would go, considering that with their pronouns, they've been all over as far as like their style. They've been hinting at this album. They've been posting snippets, all this. And for you to drop this, man, get back in the studio.
Get back to cooking. Get back in the kitchen. Oh, my goodness. Lil Uzi. Imagine being an Uzi fan, and they're like, yeah, Pink Tape was the first album I heard. That's why I knew I was a Lil Uzi fan.
Some people probably love this album. You know, we're being negative. Maybe we're the old heads at this point with this situation. I don't know.
Oh, man.
I haven't seen a lot of people praising this album like that, though. So that tells me something.
I haven't either.
Because I saw people hyping it up on Twitter like no other before it dropped.
Yeah, before it dropped, this album had all the hype.
The fact that people aren't hyping it up no more lets me know something. Besides hardcore Uzi fans.
You know, Ryan. You know that man.
They call them straight out.
I feel like we didn't even really talk about how it's 26 tracks and that's like almost 90 minutes, you know?
Nah, we mentioned it a few times saying how long.
but like, man, like I can't stress it enough, man. Like you gonna put out 90 minutes. It could be perceived as a greedy tactic. You're looking for more streams, and they seem content when they got that #1 spot with this album. They were saying, oh, it was just some experimental shit, and they went #1. I see what I can do, see my numbers. That's what it felt like. And then when you do a 90 minutes of that, it feels like I'm being exploited for my listen. I'm being exploited. You are not dropping quality.
Infinite EXP life glitch.
This nigga finding out the cheat code, bro.
For real though, now
So
she said that, I kind of feel that like they dropped the beta for the real album they're gonna drop hopefully in a few months. Because
that's
if
what
this
I'm
is the beta,
saying.
if they don't make patches, it's over.
It's over,
I'm gonna be
bro.
taking my time to listen to the next project. This was disappointing. You know how some people said Whole Lotta Red was like that for them? This was
Yeah.
like that for me. You
This
know,
was the
it never it
actual.
didn't grow. We gave it time
Yeah.
too. It never really fully connected. Some songs grew on me more than others, but it never was like, man, this whole project, people are sleeping on this now.
It's not like that. It's like basically what you were saying, how people felt that way about a Whole Lot of Red. This is what that actually was. He dropped some bullshit. People acknowledged it as bullshit. And then nobody came out and was like, hey, this is actually good. No, because it never happened. They didn't do like some genre changing shit, right? Like this is not like Vamp Anthem, right? TikTok's not going to take off with this album. So who's
Hey,
going
don't
to
say
save
that.
Uzi?
Don't say that. It's gonna happen as soon as you say that. We gonna
Uzi.
drop this video. Pink Tape is really a classic album.
I want to give a huge shout out to Uzi's visual team real quick. I think that the way that they were doing the aesthetics for this drop with like the cover, the music video, like intro type shit that they were doing cinematic was fucking awesome. I think we need more of that in rap, like these movie cinematic type things. Like that is awesome. I think that they couldn't have done a better job with that. And I think that that did definitely contribute to some of the hype that I had. But for all the bad stuff that came with this album, there was some stuff that I liked, that they were testing the boundaries for certain things within the industry and what rappers can do, and just making way for other artists to do their own thing, be themselves, unapologetic, even with like a big label behind them. Drop some bullshit every now and then, you know, keep the people honest. In a way, I liked it. It's a great discussion. However, I need my time back, dog. Can I reverse it real quick? I need my listens back, bro.
It wasn't an enjoyable listen overall, but the highlights, I'll take them. But overall, I didn't enjoy this, and I probably won't go back to it much. Besides a track or two, you know, I've kind of just moved on, and hopefully, whatever they drop next, if it's within this year, I think it'll be good. We'll see what they do.
Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I know that y'all messed with this video. We did a great job today, I felt like. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you check out this album, man. I know I said a lot of stuff, but I always want you to go check out what we were talking about so you can come back. You can go and leave a comment. You can tell us what you thought about this album. Tell us if we're wrong, if we're right, if we're saying what the people need to hear, man. I need to know. So just let me know at the Hip Hop Babies on everything: Instagram, X, Twitter, Discord, all that. Fire away. With that being said, peace.
Peace.